Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Gazy. I am here doing something I don't normally do. I'm at a Starbucks. Well, it's like Starbucks Barnes and Noble. Uh, there you go. I'm at a Starbucks Barnes and Noble, and I'm kind of getting a lot of butterflies in my stomach because I have an idea. I would like to do a meet and greet with my new book that I published, True North. If you guys don't know about it, I'm gonna link it into the description of the video. Um, and I thought about speaking to the manager here about doing a like like a book signing, and a thought occurred to me, and I wanted to share it because not every author is a J.K. Rowling, and there are people who are authors who are not necessarily um, social media personalities. So the question I had that it rose up. The question was, is my book a vanity press? And this is really heavy stuff. It's really heavy stuff. Um, Obviously, when you wrote your book, you have aspirations to help people. You have hopes that you can be a benefit to society. Maybe you can sell a couple thousand. I mean, think about it. How many there are? What, like maybe like 30 million people in the United States? I should I should Google that real quick. I don't know. I'm guessing. Well, let's just say 30 million people in the United States. That could be wrong. Like, it could be wrong or not. But please follow me. There could be 30 million people in the United States, and and it's not too far fetched to think that you can sell your book to 10,000 people. 10,000 in comparison to 30 million people is not implausible. It's definitely doable. Um, but my question is, where would all those 10,000 people be? That's the catch. Um, if you have one person in your city who buys your book, and then maybe 10 people in New York somehow buy your book, and then maybe like 100 in the middle of Arizona, they buy your book. Do you see what I'm saying? Um, it's weird. So it's not implausible to kind of make money. Um, the reason why I had the doubt of my book possibly being a vanity press, because I have these positive aspirations that, like I just shared. Um, it's that I don't know who. I've tried to write the most outstanding work that I could do. If you guys checked out my novel, I made my own commercial. I made my own book trailer. I designed the cover. I did everything myself, mostly because I didn't have the money to purchase. I didn't have the money to purchase a copyright, an editor. I didn't have the money to do most anything. The only thing I had the money for was to buy my ISBN numbers. Buy your ISBN numbers. Don't trust Nook, Create, KDP, or Ingram Spark. Buy your own ISBNs. But anyways, when I walked into the Barnes and Noble today, and I looked at some of the people who are doing book signings here locally, and they are just huge social media people that happen to live in the same city that I live in, and I don't know if my novel will get that much traction. Now, like, have you ever thought about your book not being a world changer? I mean, I know This is why some authors, they settle for writing about vampires. This is why some authors just go for the lowest common denominator, and they just sell themselves because it can sell books. And and they kind of don't get to do the type of writing they want to do. They end up doing the writing that is popular. um it's the same punish this the same expectation you should have for your Twitter profile, you should have for your Instagram follower number count, for your vloggers on YouTube. You have to write not thinking about anybody else except the high, lofty idea of literature. Whatever it is that you're writing, you're contributing to you're contributing to the zeitgeist, the spirit of the times. You're contributing to creating a work that could be a substantial benefit. Now, I already have people who are reading my book who are my friends, uh, and they are they are mesmerized and agape with with what came out of me. They didn't know that I could write what I did. And they're like, wow, this is amazing. I can't believe you did this. Like, they would see me in church. They would see me when we go out to eat. They would see me, but they never listened to me. They never read my thoughts, understood my process. Not saying that my friends didn't understand me, but when I when I produced this, I maintained it in myself that I want to write something that that I can look back on and say, you know what? I think I honored my heroes. I think I maybe, if C.S. Lewis was around, I think he would enjoy what I wrote. I think Frank E. Peretti would be interested. I think John Milton, even though my book is not poetic, it's not. I think John Milton would enjoy it. That's why I decided to write what I did. So it's not a vanity press to me. Some people will say that, oh, you can have you write something and it's just for your family. Well, check this out. The Life of Our Lord. Have you ever heard of it? You probably didn't. The Life of Our Lord was a book that was written by an individual, and he wrote it specifically for his family. He interpreted the Gospels, all four Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, story of Jesus Christ, and he wrote the story of Jesus to his children so that when they grew up, they could share that. It's not that they didn't have a Bible back then. It's just that he decided to write his his gospel, I guess you could say, for his kids to read it in a way that they could understand. And this author, he decided to never publish it, never promote it. He went on as far as to say, "Don't," to his children. "Don't let this is to stay within our family." Well, it reached the great grandchild of the famed author, and they decided to publish it. The Life of Our Lord was written by none other than Charles Dickens, and I happen to own a first print copy of The Life of Our Lord. So you see, like, he wrote that, and that could have been a vanity press. It could have been, and for all intents and purposes, it was. But he wrote it, and decades later, it did sell fantastically. So the weird part is that when I wrote my novel, I I've entered myself into a time capsule, and I may never know. Um, but I guess if YouTube is still around 200 years from now, and I don't know if you're watching this video It's crazy, dude. Maybe I could be something special. Maybe someone is gonna write an essay based on my works. Maybe, I don't know, but I'm not gonna let the idea of a novella of a vampire triangle of love, like a supernatural werewolf dystopian. I'm not gonna let um, these things inhibit the art that I have that I want to share. Whether it reaches the 10,000 people, like I mentioned, or it's just me holding the cover of my own book. So I'm pretty happy with that. So if you guys are interested in this book that I wrote, it's linked in the description below. It's available in Kindle as well as in paperback in Amazon. It's linked there, so you just touch that and you can read about uh, Giles Thompson, Cassie Weatherstone, and all the other characters in my novel True North. SayGeizi.